Speaking of Russia, so Putin also had a meeting with Trump in Alaska earlier this week and or last week, I guess. Yeah. I'm like, it's Monday. Our day is like, this kind of feels like a weekend for some reason. Anyways, we have some clips from that as well.
Mr. Putin, what are you wearing?
I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them. They're going to have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here. We look forward to that. We look forward to dealing. We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. I'll see you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. What?
I think he's also standing on one of those little platforms.
Oh, like Kamala.
Like it's thank you very much.
I know Trump
thank you very much, Mr. Trump.
Trump makes everyone look so small. Like, it's pretty wild. He definitely dominates.
Oh yeah. No, he's
just in size alone.
Yeah, right. He's like 6'3" or 6'4", I heard.
Yeah, and he's like big,
like,
you know.
A lot of cheeseburgers.
But yeah, they had this meeting.
Diet Cokes are working for him.
Oh my gosh. They had this meeting, and then just today they had the meeting with Zelensky. So obviously things are moving and working kind of fast. Like, it's like they both of them meeting with Trump show that they actually do want to end in some sort of capacity, right? Obviously they both want what they want, but they're both willing to meet and willing to talk. So that's a good sign in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, I'm sure Ukrainian people, I'm sure everybody in that region wants it to stop. You know, the people do.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think the globalists, you know, don't want it to stop, and they're just going to keep doing everything they can do to vex Russia. I don't think they want peace. I don't think they're going to go for it. But I hope I'm wrong. You know,
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And you know, like I said, I hope I'm wrong. They might even give up on the idea too. Like, okay,
I mean, you can only handle so much. Like, Russia can wipe Ukraine off the map if they want.
Right, and they're the only nuclear power. I mean, to me, I don't understand why Russia or Ukraine hasn't already surrendered.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
Because they've been getting our money for so long. They probably.
Oh, right. Well, and this is where people like on the right, like, are not happy with Trump supporting. I've heard people be like, I don't support Trump anymore because he keeps giving them, he keeps, you know, basically working with Ukraine rather than just throwing them right under the bus and be like, you're on your own. I think he is trying to appease everybody. So that actually should show tremendous, you know, character on Trump for still sticking with Zelensky instead of being like, you're on your own, we're done. Because that was the idea.
Their last meeting, because their last meeting did not go well.
Right. I mean, he could have at any point just been like, we're done here.
Right.
But I think there's another thing that people have to understand is you got the House Appropriations Committee and how much the military industrial complex really controls Capitol Hill. I imagine they're losing support. So basically, the people in the military industrial complex lobby into Congress, which I'm sure you guys already know that, right? So I'm pretty sure what is going on behind the scenes is that they have to capitulate to those groups of people in order to get anything done. So I think that's why we see Trump. People will be like, why is Trump doing this? I think that's why, because he needs to make deals happen. He's all about the deals, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to be like, all right, look, that's where we're building the military.
You have to give everybody what they want a little bit. So then now they owe you. Like, right. That's the art of the deal, right?
I think the warmongers really want it because of the money. It's not like I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are getting off on the war. I think it's more like they just see the profits and the dollars. So as long as they see the profits still coming in, then I think they'll be like, okay, Trump, you can do whatever you're going to do. We're not going to sabotage your plans as president, but don't stop our dollars from coming in from our military contracts. Right. You can go, I can make that happen. We'll fund a little bit of Ukraine because I'm sure he doesn't want Russia to get out of control either. I mean, we just sent the nuclear subs near, Russia to try to show some kind of force, which is honestly, I think that's kind of dumb. Russia's holding all the cards here. That's going to stop when Russia wants. They're the superpower, and they're the one. We're not going to go into a nuclear war with Russia. No. We're not going to war with Russia, period.
Right. So we'll try to do peace as much as we can, but we're not going to get involved in that capacity.
Yeah. And I've seen,
at least under Trump.
That's one thing I agree with MAGA people that have criticized him for trying to act tough with Russia. It's kind of dumb, and it kind of makes us look weak to be like, to posture against Russia, like, well, I'm going to send some nuclear subs up there. To do what? We're not actually going to get into a nuclear war with them. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So it kind of makes us look a little weak and a little fake, like,
well, that's kind of Trump, right? He, shows his power and like does things like that, like how they flew the
bombers.
Yeah, over. Yeah, so he does stuff like
cool,
that. It was cool, but it's a show of force, and that's like his style. That's what he does, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if Putin calls his bluff, then
I don't have a problem with flexing on him. Like somebody had pointed out too, they're like, oh, of course, all the fake news is gonna be like he's trying to suck up to Putin. But then somebody had pointed this out. We didn't get this. It's not a big deal. It honestly shouldn't be news, but it's like when they're walking out on those red carpets, right? Putin's walking out, Trump walks out. He walks out first. It's another thing the left is trying to be like, Trump walked, he didn't walk in a straight line. There's something wrong with him. Like I don't know if anybody's even heard that. It's so stupid.
No,
it's like their latest scandal. But he walks out, right? And he stands there on the carpet and he waits for Putin to come to him. So it's like, you're going to come to me. Right. Yeah. It's subtle things like that where, even this like pursuing peace right there in the back. He's like, kind of like they're putting it up right behind him. Like, oh, we're pursuing peace. It's like they're putting him in the position where it's like, you're going to look like the bad guy unless, you make it work with us. So it's a lot of this is very subtle, but I do agree with that kind of, flexing on people. I just don't think you should make empty gestures. Like, we're not going to get into a nuclear war, so don't even send the nuclear subs over. But I'm sure he's probably thinking, well, this will make our allies and other people feel like we're tough.
Yeah, he's so unpredictable that a lot of people don't know if he would actually do that or not. So,
I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what...
Like, we don't think he would get in a nuclear war with Russia, but... Other people, from their perspective, they're like, oh, Trump's a wild card. We don't know what he's capable of. We don't know what he could do. So he kind of does these things to throw people off so that people don't know his next move.
I'm glad you said that, and I totally agree with all of that. I just think that this is one of those ones you could say, he's not going to do that. You're not going to get people to think that you're going to actually make a move on that. You're not going to pump fake him on that. That's just... To me, that's an easy one to be like, no, that one's not a real one. Like, and that's where I think it makes us look a little weak. I would say. Because you're right, and that is good to do that. To be like, you never know, that dude might just press.
He might actually do it.
But I don't think in this case he's not that stupid. That'd be too much of a stupid move. That I don't think that would end up actually being good for us. So that's just my personal opinion. But moving on.
So. Putin has some words to say about the war if Trump would have been president.
Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like and trustworthy contact.
Yeah, coming from the man that started the war, right? Like, he says, I can confirm that. So there you go. Right. Trump was right. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's because basically it was the violating of the Minsk Accords, right? Or the Minsk agreements, right? So that was like, it was...
Yeah, Ukraine is not supposed to be part of NATO ever.
Right, so. And that was agreed upon. Like, all of our presidents up until then had verbally agreed upon this. Like, yeah, we're not going to do that. It's the same thing in the Bay of Pigs, right? We're not going to let communist, Russia or not the USSR put nukes in Cuba. We're not letting that happen. And that was good reason. And so why wouldn't it also go both ways? That's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you could say, well, that's, immaterial, but it's not, because remember when, and this is, we could pull this up, but it was taken down. Remember when Kamala Harris, whatever. I've already forgot how to say it right. Kamala
Old news.
had made that tweet about how it was something like, let me see if I have it here. That United States stands firmly with the Ukrainian people in defense of the NATO alliance.
Right.
Right. And it was like basically softly implied that it was like, she was like basically saying that we're going to see about having Ukraine join NATO. And then like 2 days later, that was like March or I can't remember the timeline on this. Like she goes there, and then like soon after, Russia then invades Ukraine. It was like we put it right up to their doorstep of saying, they hadn't officially joined NATO or anything, but we had
But when you have the vice president talking about this, we don't want that to happen. And what happens after that?
Right. And at the time, there was also the talk about biolabs. Remember, they were saying they found those biolabs and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Russian intelligence knew that. They saw that and they're like, oh, no. We're not going to let you guys put that stuff right at our front door and then openly muse about that. I don't think so. Right. So you could see how, this was started largely on our side as the allies, our aggression and our movement towards Russia.
So it never would have happened if Trump were actually president. All of that. I'm like, oh, I can say that here on Rumble. Can't say that on
The election was tampered. Look at all the peace deals. This is one thing I wanted to also talk about just real quick. Look at all the. Remember when Trump presidency number one, they were like, he's going to start World War III.
We're going to get in war with North Korea. And just like
he done squashed.